not. I will only record this one.
You look great. So, we're here to talk about homeschooling. Yay! This is Mama Summer, Jan, and she did 12 years, well, actually longer than that, homeschooling with myself, my younger sister, and my older brother. So for all you parents out there who are like, man, it's hard to have kids at home, I thought I would ask my mom some questions about what being at home looks like. So, Mom, what are some of the tips for when kids are like freaking out and they're coming in the office and they're bugging you all the time? What do you suggest?
Well, first of all, I would say to all the parents right now that everybody's in the same boat and not to be discouraged. It's okay that you're bummed because you were doing something you loved and now you're not necessarily doing everything you love, and your kids are in the same boat, but you're all together and you do love each other. And so you're going to be able to solve what's going on in your house, and you're just the perfect people to do it. And so one thing is creating like fun competitions where you can say whoever gets their schoolwork done first gets to choose whether we have, I should think of healthy ideas for dinner, but whatever your 2 dinner choices that you might be able to cook, you or your husband, whoever's cooking, and they get to choose which one because they got their schoolwork done first. Another thing I would say is don't stress about how much time they spend on their schoolwork. The fact that they are reading and writing and doing some math probably, just working at it, attempting it for a little bit of time every day, it adds up over time, and that's a great thing.
I mean, I did that my whole life, and I almost turned out all right. So
yeah, Caleb was the one who would get up 6:30 in the morning and do his math before he went to the bathroom because he wanted to have as much time in the day to do every sport known to man, and so he had hours of sports time. So.
Yeah, I remember, what would you do, whether it was you or Dad? I would sit there and I would run in and I'd be like, Mom, I can't study, I can't focus. How did you guys typically handle that? I remember doing that a million times.
I would, well, let's see. First of all, you liked, you were the one that liked competition. So it was like, well, why don't you go see how many times you can write, that down as quickly as you can and time yourself. And can you do it in 60 seconds? Sorry.
You stimulated me through competition, and now that's why I'm the most competitive human on earth.
Well, that was who you were. Where Luke would come in and say, I can't think of anything to write. And I'd say, just go read. He loved the Stinky Cheese Man books. And I was like, go read a Stinky Cheese Man book. And you loved, what's the Critter books. And so I would just tell you to go do something that you really, really liked to get your mind off what you didn't like so that then you could come back to it, to sort of change your mind and not focus in on what you couldn't do.
Yeah. Rachel, my sister's on here as well on chat. Do you have anything to add or question on that one?
Hi. I would just say that a real strength of Mom and Dad was that they really worked with all 3 of us to work with our temperament. And so Caleb was really motivated by competition. Luke was really motivated by the things he was motivated by. And I really liked, the things that I liked as well. And so Mom and Dad were really always really great about having us learn in a way that best suited us.
Yeah, I remember one of the things that you gave me when I would say I couldn't focus is, since I was so into physical activity, you guys would be like, all right, go out and see how many baskets you can shoot in 5 minutes, or so you can get 20 in a row and then come back in. That definitely helped me. I probably still apply those principles today. When I can't focus, I just go out, do some quick workout or get my body moving, and then it allows me to focus. So, Mom, you were saying some things about people, like different kids in competition. So for those parents that have like multiple kids, and when you were saying like reward them, where it's like, hey, whoever can get their stuff done first gets to pick dinner, gets to pick the movie we watch. You were saying, well, let me ask you first, like, what were some other rewards? You mentioned one earlier to me that you'd say you could use for kids.
Okay, I was trying to list some of them. Like maybe you're going to go for a walk, and they get to choose which direction you go for the walk. Maybe they just get to choose, well, what's the next movie we're going to watch, or the next video game we're going to play, or the book that we're going to read. One thing that I was reading about that I thought was interesting was having like a drill, like practicing. Here are all these parents at home, and they're working, and their kids are also there. And so you're hoping not to get a screaming kid running in the room and you're on a call. I would say, though, please remember that everybody out there is at home, and they're hoping their screaming child doesn't come in the room either. So there's going to be a lot of grace and mercy going on all over the place. But I read somewhere where they said, practice a drill every day and say, okay, what do you do when mommy or daddy is on the phone and you have a problem? And when Luke was in, he did go to first grade. Anyway, the teacher had them go over to a corner, and if they had a disagreement, they went over to the corner, the two of them in the disagreement, and they began to talk through what was the problem and to see if they could solve it without asking the teacher. So how to help your kids. And there's a thing on Pinterest you can look up about problem solving and with your kids, but see if you can get them to try and solve it themselves. And then you're like, at the end of the day, victory, what happened today that was really great? And it was like, well, we were able to solve the game and the issue that was going on.
Yeah. You were saying that there's some stuff that we would do sometimes as kids in the morning to like get together as a family and set like intentions or priorities or connect or whatever. What were some of those things?
Well, I would say, you can start the day, you could do it in the middle of the day, you could do it at the end of the day, but you say 5 things that you're grateful for, and you're helping to set the tone. Everybody, let each one say 5 things that they're grateful for. And then all of a sudden you're hopefully and maybe changing the perspective on the day. And I think too that with everybody suffering loss, instead of looking at what you've lost, look at what you're really gaining and what you have gained, because you're going to get back what you've lost, because eventually we're all going to pull out of this, and people are going to go back to work and go back to the lives that they had before in much the same way.
Yeah, I like it. Well, one of my last questions, you were saying earlier that like you were just talking about how homeschooling is hard, and there's no question that it is a challenge and it's different from the regular life. And you were telling me a couple of things on like what parents could think about as far as that goes.
Well, I would say don't be worried that you're not doing enough or you're not doing it well enough. That there's a lot of time spent at school on taking attendance and handling discipline problems and going to lunch and going to recess and whatever. That all that is, you don't have to worry. So the amount of time that the kids spend doing school might be way shorter, and they get it done in the morning, and they've got the rest of the day to really begin to think their own thoughts, find out who they are. One thing that I discovered was that each one of you, Rachel asked to put all of our photos in albums when she was 18 years old. And we did that, and you got to see that every one of you at 3 and 4 years old were doing at 3 and 4 years old what you do today. So all these parents get a chance, if they haven't had a chance before, to really see, and the kids get a chance to focus on what do they love and what do they want to spend their time doing. And it's really valuable. Each one of you did extremely well in college, and it wasn't that we were cracking the whip in a very forceful way about all of your academics, reading, writing, math, and we were pursuing it, but you had lots of time to think your own thoughts and follow what you loved.
Yeah. And one of the things that, I definitely get to do what I love today. And what I learned when I first got to college was Scantrons, you need to bubble in and not check it. Very first test, I just checked everything on the day. I got called into the office. The teacher was like, "What the hell are you doing?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "I had to hand grade this thing." And I was like, "I don't know. It was the first Scantron I ever took." So, there are some kinks to work out, but yeah, overall.
Yeah.
What, and then you were saying, you were saying last thing, during this time, you were just talking about how it is hard, but what should parents do or think?
I know that this too shall pass, and you're going to get through it. I would see if you can come up with ideas with your kids. Maybe they make a list of all the ways that they can help you. If they're little kids, they'll do that. If they're teenagers, you're like, don't bother me. And maybe you do in-home Olympics. We just watched a video of you kids, and we did impromptu in-home Olympics, and you did like a real lame cartwheel, and we're like 10, and it was really cute.
I watched the video. I watched the video.
Lame to me as a mother, but if you were grading yourself.
Yeah.
What did you say, Rachel?
I said I watched the video too, and I can say with 100% certainty they were 10 out of 10 cartwheels.
Absolutely. Maybe you get them involved in things in the house. Oh, one time I said to you guys, okay, what are all the things that are involved with doing the dishes after dinner? And I said, I'll give $5 to anybody that lists the most things that are involved. And the person that won was my nephew Andrew, who was visiting. And there were so many, like empty the trash, take your dishes to the sink, push your chair in, unload the dishwasher. Anyway, there were all these things, but it was very funny. And maybe the reward isn't $5. Maybe the reward is you get to pick the movie we watched tonight, or you get to pick the movie we read. Or also spending more time with your kids, reading at night, before they go to bed. Maybe they like something other than that. Maybe they want to do a race around the house, before they go to bed. Anyway, looking and seeing what your kids naturally love, because they'll tell you, and figuring out how you can incorporate yourself into that with them and still get your work done. You might have to get up earlier before they get up to do the work you have because you have a full-time job, or working late at night. And then maybe you're taking a nap in the middle of the afternoon, and you've put something on that they can be occupied, but you're right there with them, even for maybe taking a nap yourself.
Cool. Well, thanks, Mom. Good luck to all the parents that are out there. You can do it. If you do it for too long, unfortunately, you might just end up with a child like me. And
yay, that would be great.
But yeah, thanks, Mom. Yeah, I loved homeschooling. I really did.
Love you, Caleb. He was so much fun. So much fun. So was Rachel. So was Luke. It was so much fun.
All right. We'll see you guys. Bye.
Bye.